See-Through, presented by Herman's Auctioneers. Today we are joined by the lovely Jordan Cassidy, who is a
Hello.
painter working in Dublin at the moment. How are you, Jordan?
I'm good.
It's lovely to have you here.
Happy to
Thanks so
be
much for coming
here.
on. Well, we're going to start off nice and handy. Just
Nice.
tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, all the rest.
Okay, my name's Jordan. I'm 23.
Hmm.
From Meath, live in Fairview.
Represent.
Representing Fairview, up the gang.
Yeah.
And I graduated IDT last year
Hmm.
and have been working from a little studio on Francis Street above Studio X, which has been great. And
Nice.
just trying to
Yeah.
get involved, get out on the
Very
scene.
nice. Okay. So you might talk to me a bit about when your interest in art kind of first started, or when you first remember wanting to have a kind of creative outlet of some description.
My auntie was my art teacher in
Okay.
school, and
Yeah.
my mom has six sisters, and she had two brothers. She has one now,
Yeah.
but they were all really artsy. So
Mm.
like my auntie Nikki was a painter, and then my
Mhm.
auntie Kelly, who was my art teacher, she was also a painter.
Okay.
And she always, when I was like visiting with family, she'd find anything she
Mm.
could for me to paint with. Like I'd be wrecking my mom's makeup brushes and like like be painting with her lipsticks and
Yeah.
stuff and
Yeah.
ruining all those tubes. Um, and yeah, she always pushed me to do art and pursue it and stuff. But I thought I was gonna get into something different before. Like before I went to IDT, I thought I wanted to do character makeup design because I was really into
Mm.
prosthetics
Yeah. Yeah.
and like horror media. I used to watch all the special features
Cool.
on like all the horror
Yeah.
DVDs I
Yeah.
had like on loop over and over. So I actually thought I was gonna get into that, but I can kind of see how those interests still kind
Mm.
of show in what I've ended up doing, and
Yeah.
when I've fell into kind of fine art painting and
Mm.
stuff, and
Mm.
because I find I get a lot of my inspiration actually from more like media
Mm.
and
Mm.
photography more than other artists a
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like
Interesting.
people
Okay.
like Stephen Klein and like
Mm.
Petra
Petra
Collins as well.
Collins.
So
Yeah.
sick. And or do you know Franz Zoni?
No, I don't actually.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He's
He's a
like this,
photographer.
yeah, but it's
Cool.
really like put together like synthetic sets,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
the top, like camp stuff and like
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
camp films
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
horror films and stuff like that. I
Okay.
feel is where I got a lot of my inspiration
Inspiration.
for my paintings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
So yeah, out of college, then you went to IEDT first. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I did my portfolio course in Ballyfermot,
Yeah.
which I loved. But Ballyfermot was so sick.
Yeah.
Like I when I first didn't get into the course I wanted in IDT first, I went to Ballyfermot, and then I completely changed my mind because I had this amazing paint teacher Barbara. I don't remember her second name. I wish
Yeah.
I remembered, but she was so fierce. She had this like really sick like black
Yeah,
bob,
yeah.
and it's like she just like dug her fingers in black eyeshadow every day, and
Just yeah,
like
yeah. That was the
yeah,
vibe.
she was so sick, but she was really, really passionate, and like she taught me a lot of like technique and stuff
Cool.
that kind of we didn't learn a lot as much about in IDT. It was a lot more like group sessions and
Yes.
talking about like the theory side and like the meaning behind everything. But
Cool.
Ballyfermot was amazing. I
Yeah, yeah.
actually recommend it to everybody I know. That's
And how
went
do you
out to
feel like if you take yourself from like before you went to Ballyfermot / when you were in Ballyfermot all the way to now, do you think your style has evolved or changed in terms of like your painting style?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I don't know, like style wise. I always think about it and how it's so interesting. Like I don't know what my style is until like I feel like every couple paintings I change up how it looks, and but then I'll kind of see everything. Like I'm trying to get like a website together, like a little
Yeah.
Squarespace moment
Cool.
going.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'll look at them all together, and then I'm like, oh no, there is definitely clear
thread,
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
like thread between a lot of them. Like
Mm.
a lot of them, I actually was really inspired by Catholic imagery as well, which
Yeah,
is really funny
yeah.
because I'm very much not Catholic and an openly proud gay man. So it's not my geesh. But like I remember when I used to have to go to mass when I was younger,
Yeah.
I didn't even mind because I was so distracted by like that like Baroque style
course, yeah,
art
yeah.
and like religious imagery and stuff. And I kind of played with that on some stuff in my graduation.
Yes. Yeah.
I did this a self portrait as Saint Sebastian. he was like, it was a whole thing about him
Mhm.
being a martyr,
He's a
and he
gay
became
martyr.
like a
Mhm.
gay icon later on for all the like impossibly beautiful
Mhm.
portraits of him that was done and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. And I did my version of like the Mother Mary with
Mhm. Yeah.
you probably know, it's
I
actually
know the
funny.
one.
We
Yeah.
have this like doll that's like a house mascot for me and my friends in Fairview that we found on the street when we
Yeah,
were in
and that
first
was
year,
the
and we
Madonna and
painted her
Child.
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so I was kind of playing off how in those old paintings the babies always look fucked up, like they
Yeah.
look crazy,
They're ugly
like with adult
babies.
heads on baby
Mm.
bodies. So I was like, what's my version of the
Yeah, it's
weird
a
baby?
yassified baby.
So I had
Yeah.
yeah, the yassified baby was flying above that. So yeah, it's funny that I feel like, yeah, no offense to any Christians out there, but I'd like to play with
Yeah.
that and like mimic
Yeah,
mimic that and
absolutely. Well,
kinda,
it's so entrenched in like Irish, imagery and stuff is,
of course, yeah.
Christianity, early Christian art, all that kind of stuff. And then when you get into the more like theatrical kind of stuff in the,
Yeah.
15, 16
And I'm
century.
from I've come from a really small village called Nobber, which is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it's really like, it's a very real thing though as well. It's very Catholic
Absolutely,
or Christian
yeah,
or whatever
yeah,
it
of
is. I don't know,
course.
guys. But all that.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, I mean, we've talked a little bit about your main source of inspiration from kind of like media and photography and things like that. Is there anything else that you would consider being a big source of inspiration?
Yeah, well, once I kind of locked down, I feel like in the last year I've figured out my technique that I like working in
Yes.
much better than I did when I was going through college. And I watched all these YouTube videos when I was in my final year about the Caravaggio technique and how he painted and his layering and all that, all the glazes and working with glazes. And I did that for like a year. And now I'm kind of really inspired by skin, portraiture, and like the layers of skin and the depths of color that you can get with stuff like that. So yeah, I'm always inspired by that and medieval art as well. I pull from a lot of
different inspirations.
different places, I guess.
Interesting.
In terms of the works, obviously it works in our upcoming exhibition and auction. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that behind you there?
Yeah, that one. So I worked on that one. It was actually a couple of years ago. I finished that one in 2020 when I was in college, and I was kind of looking at old classic still lifes, and I was kind of thinking about how would you like paint the figure in the same way that you would paint a still life, as more of objects and less of like take the character kind of out of it instead of like the other way around. So I like set up this scene with the red, and I wanted to kind of capture like a really intense atmosphere.
Yeah.
So there's like the torso is being like lit from a couple different angles, giving this kind of green
Shadowy.
circle on it, which kind of makes you think about like what's the lighting source, and the candle dripping down, giving the connection kind of between the torso on its side, which is kind of like there's no face or really characteristics about it that you could tell who it's from, so it's kind of being seen more objectively, and the hand being very placed on purposefully placed, and the dripping of the candle kind of bringing a connection between those two.
And this, obviously the connection with the skin
objects.
then.
And then looking at those layers of the skin and like subtle changes in tone and really thin layers, and then applying thicker on the brighter areas and stuff like that. So
Very
kind of looking at the form, like the human form, more as an object.
Yeah,
in a
cool.
way.
Very cool.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
God, that sounds horrible. Actually,
I'm objectifying people.
Basically, I was just trying to objectify.
No, but I
my
think
lovely
the
model.
object and then the relationship with that and the skin, then it does evoke a feeling of like, that's going to be painful.
Yeah,
you know?
it's kind of sexy as well.
Yeah, it is a bit. You're right. So we talked about you said you had a studio on Francis Street now.
Yeah.
So with your creative space, like what is there that you really need in order to sit down and really make some works? Like, do you need anything around you or?
Ooh. Yeah, I have a big. I kind of collect like artsy magazines.
Okay, cool.
The library projects. I'm like, if I could spend my whole paycheck in the library projects,
On the zines.
I would,
Yeah.
on the zines
Yeah.
and stuff. And yeah, there's always stuff like that, and I always keep I have this like box of photos that I have in my studio, and it's just like old Polaroids and old photos that I gathered from like my mum and my like dad's collection of stuff. Or because I'm also quite like I do club nights as
Yeah,
well that I
yeah.
organize with my friends, and I'm always really inspired by the nightlife photography
Yes.
as well in that. So I have like a couple nightlife photography books and like yeah, zines like that. They're
Yeah.
important because I find a lot of the time I go into the studio and the first hour of like getting to even work is like doing nothing and just sitting and looking at a
Yeah,
piece or like
exactly.
looking at inspiration or trying to like
Mm-hmm.
find that
Yeah. Reference
like
point.
reference point or
Exactly.
that like moment.
Because
So yeah.
nightlife photography is always obviously full of figures
Mhm.
and
Yeah, yeah.
movement and
And really fun
expression
movement.
and
That's what's fun.
And
Even
light's
like
important.
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah,
or even like people in the background of like photos that aren't even in focus.
Yeah.
There's always such when people
The
don't think that
expressions
they're
and
being photographed. You get such
Mhm.
weird
Mm.
placements of the body and weird movements.
yeah, very cool.
So not like necessarily just art, but like there's obviously loads of events going on in Dublin. What are you looking forward to over the next couple of months? Any events coming up? Any exhibitions coming up for shameless plug and stuff you're doing?
Yeah. I actually there's one I'm really excited about because it's a charity event. It's in December with the Simon community.
Oh.
They're raising funds and I donated a painting for that, which I'm really really excited about, and I think it'll like it's for such great
Yeah, of course.
really great cause, and I think it'll get loads of eyes on it. There's supposed to be there's some really special guests that the curators have been telling me about, so I'm excited for that
Keep
one.
eyes
Hopefully
peeled. Do you
raise
know where it's
some
gonna be
good
on?
money for. It's somewhere in Trinity as well.
Oh, very
I
good.
think it's being hosted by Trinity, the same people
Nice.
as another exhibition I have on in November 13th.
Excellent. Yeah. And you mentioned
Exciting.
you're involved in kind of running club nights and events and things like that.
Yeah,
like,
we
where do you
also
see?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're
tell me about
actually
that.
we kind of haven't run a club night in a little while, so we're organizing our next event, which is really exciting. And we're going to be doing something for Halloween. I can't really say the date yet,
Yeah.
or maybe I can. I don't know. Halloween night.
Yeah.
Trust Collective, guys. It's going to be
Be
great.
there or
Cool.
be square.
But we're going for. But see, me and my best friend Ben do all the art direction and the editing and the photo shoots and video shoots for it. So I also love doing that stuff as well,
Yeah.
and kind of like set design and art direction. I'm really into. So we're working on kind of like a really fun 80s slasher
Yeah.
Cool.
Theme.
sort of
Very
video
cool.
and photo shoot, like bloodbath
Yeah.
kind of moment
Very cool.
for that night, which is going to be really really fun, and that's going to be in Tengu
Yeah.
on
yeah.
Halloween night.
And how do you find kind of running these freelance events? Like, what kind of barriers are there, or what kind of challenges are there?
God, the venues, it's really, well, I mean, like Tengu are the best. We've actually done so many events with them because their team are so great.
Yes, yeah.
And they like the nighttime nightlife invigil. What do
the
you call them?
invigilators, yeah.
Invigilators,
yeah.
I guess. Everybody's always super comfortable there, and there's always people to go to if you need anything, and like they've always took care of us, so they're super great. And but it's kind of like funding as well. It's
course,
like
yeah.
hard because it comes all out of our pockets, and we don't make a lot of money at the end of the day, but we want to do it like for like Dublin culture.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
there's actually, even in the past couple of years, there's been so many more like cool nightlife events
Of course,
happening
yeah,
again,
yeah.
where I feel as like when I first moved to Dublin,
There was
which would have
nothing.
been like 5 years ago, it was really quiet. So I love that we're still doing it. Like, which
Yeah,
is
lots
really-
of people
yeah,
have been getting
Yeah, it's
involved
really
though.
fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Big time.
different
Yeah,
things.
and it's
going
all a
on.
big thing for collaboration as well, you
Yeah.
know, because it's like we only do. There's no need for us to do all these like grand promo for
No.
these
Yeah.
events. It's just so that like we can get involved with photographers and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
fashion
collaborate
designers
with
and
other-
like
yeah.
editors and all this sort of stuff. Just because when you're like at this age, I guess you gotta make your own opportunities before anybody's gonna give you anything.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
exactly.
You know.
Sure.
Yeah, and obviously when you're meeting with other people who are, into creative pursuits, but they can add something different, it's always really good to collaborate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I spoke to you, obviously I asked a little bit about the challenges in terms of like organizing events like that, but what do you think the challenges are for artists in Ireland or Dublin at the moment?
Just having like the time to spend on your art, like that's what I'm kind of grappling with. Like I was working full time, and like
Mm.
obviously the obvious things like the housing crisis, the
Yeah,
rents,
yeah, yeah.
even like rents for studios. Like there's not a lot of good
Yeah.
studio spaces, and they're very where there is a lot of the time it's like not so
Yeah,
easy to
yeah.
even get in contact or
Access.
know when they're like available or get access to them. So that's what I find like a lot of my like artist friends are
Yeah,
struggling
are
with,
struggling with
like
at the moment.
being like so down to commit so much time to your art and your
Yeah.
craft and
Yeah.
stuff, and just and also having to live in Dublin, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's
yeah, it
just
is.
but
It's
everybody
difficult.
that's also just not even a struggle just for artists, just everyone.
Yeah,
But
of course.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
something like that. But it's maybe getting better. Maybe I'm immigration station. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
on the fence about
So
it. But I love the scene here, and like
that's it,
from
like.
like I met so many nice people, like so many nice, amazing artists in Dublin who were like
course,
so
yeah.
incredible. So I don't know. It would be a shame if I had to leave. But
Like one of the things we were thinking about when obviously we were putting together the exhibition for it's on October 13th was kind of external influences on people's art. So kind of how travel can really enrich your practice and just show you elements or things
For
that you haven't
sure.
seen before. So is there a kind of a trip or somewhere you've been that's really kind of informed your practice or something like that?
yeah, maybe let me think about that. Well, I think I did my Erasmus in Budapest.
Yes, yeah.
And that was probably the most time I had to devote to art in like my life, because we went over. It was during kind of COVID times, and so when we got to Budapest, there was like a curfew at 6 p.m. for the first like
Yeah.
month, and then there was a curfew at 10 p.m. for the 2 months after that. So me and my friends that I went with, we were just like locked inside for like every evening, just painting,
Yeah.
and it like it was amazing. I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
like so much done, and I figured out so much about how I work and like my style and stuff. Um, yeah, it was an amazing
Yeah,
trip,
I s-
but didn't love Budapest. But
Yeah, well, I suppose you saw a very strange version of
yeah, it was
Yeah.
very
Budapest
strange.
in
It
that
was very strange.
moment.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, very
Everybody
good.
there wears leather jackets every day, guys. It's crazy. That's the one thing I took from it. That I was
With
like,
you
this is
Hungarians
wild.
in your
Yeah,
leather
yeah.
It'd be
jackets.
like
Jesus,
hot, and like
Yeah.
everybody on the street is wearing a black leather jacket. They're like all spies. It's so fierce.
I'm scared.
Like they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
giving it that way,
Yeah,
but
yeah. In a way.
Yeah.
In a way. Well, yeah. Like, what's the most important thing for you to represent in your art, or like get across, or what's the end goal, or the thing you're happiest with when you achieve in your art when you're making it?
It's shining, like holding a mirror to the people around me that I love the most. I think that's why I like portraiture so
Yeah.
much, because I can really focus in on the person that I'm painting, and like being inspired by them. Like I've painted, so I usually just paint friends and family or people that like move me and inspire me, and queer people as well. I feel like there's lots of queer tones in a lot of my art, which is like just like
Yeah.
proud and like
Yeah.
unashamed and like camp and yeah,
Embracing that.
yeah, embracing that and like being able to I don't know, show interesting people.
Yeah.
Or that's what I hope to do more of, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I feel like I really want to like hone in on doing really realized portraits
Yeah.
of people that I think are amazing. So I'm working on some
Yeah.
paintings, and there'll be some stuff coming out soon
Yeah.
that is more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely
Hopefully.
something that's powerful from your work.
Definitely.
For
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah. And your eye for detail.
Yeah.
Things
Yeah,
like
keep on
that
to
is
some
very
detail is good.
yeah.
Very cool, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
You
Nice.
Do you want to do your quick fire round?
Yeah. Fun
Fire
questions.
questions.
Okay.
Okay.
Jordan, what's your favorite color?
Red. For
Same.
sure. Off the bat.
Love that. Why?
Why? Ooh, I'm a double Aries.
Yeah.
I've always, when I was
You have an Aries
like,
moon.
I'm an Aries sun, Aries moon,
I'm an Aries moon as well.
no, Pisces rising, and Venus.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, it's like such an intense color, but I felt so at home in it. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I was allowed to paint my room when I was like 10, And my mom let me choose the color. And I chose like the brightest red, and I had it for like
Feeling stressed
5
in
years
the
or
room every
something.
day.
Yeah, but I love it.
Body
Like
under
it
constant
feels,
stress.
Yeah. Like a ball being.
but like the typical Aries things. It's like fiery, intense,
mhm.
passionate, aggressive, loud.
All words to describe.
All words to describe me at different moments. Not all the time, guys. I'm actually like pretty
Not all at
chill.
once.
I'm like a super nice guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love that.
fascination with red
Love
for
that.
sure.
My next question is, okay, you're stranded on a desert island. All of your food, medicine, all that stuff is taken care of. What 3 fun or luxury items are you bringing with you?
Can I be like
Any
Like
3 luxuries.
electronic
Yeah, yeah.
on the island?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need some sort of streaming
Yeah.
service.
Yeah.
Because like even when I'm working, when I'm like I'm constantly listening to something. Like
Yeah.
if I'm not listening to like a podcast or I have a movie on in the background, and like
Yeah.
I annoy my friends all the time because I'm such a rewatcher. Like every Halloween, I have to rewatch my 25 favorite Halloween movies. Like I
I'm
don't
busy.
like
Yeah.
I don't want to watch any of this new shit.
Yeah.
Like so I like not too well on the stranded island.
Mm.
Yeah, give me Netflix.
Yeah.
Give me an endless supply of Wotsits
Yeah.
for
Nice.
snacking.
Nice.
Favorite snack for sure. And trampoline.
Love that.
Trampoline. Guys, I actually, it was when I was younger, I got a trampoline for my communion. And
Yeah.
when I tell you that I jumped around in circles on that trampoline for hours every single day, and I would that's when I was inspired when I was younger. When I was like
You were
in
flow
different
state.
worlds.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I
in a
need,
meditative state.
yeah. So I'm going to have my Netflix on the desert island, jumping in circles on my trampoline.
And eating your what's it?
Eating my Wotsits.
What a perfect day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my perfect day.
In terms of
Yeah.
if when you're in your studio, if I said to you, you can only listen to one song on repeat while you're working, what would it be?
Definitely gonna go with the Lana song.
Nice.
I love Lana when I play.
What era are we saying?
I'm thinking Ultraviolence, and I'm thinking it's probably maybe Brooklyn Baby.
Yeah.
Something like that. That whole album. Or no. Cancel that.
Change my mind.
Rewind. Lord Ribs.
Love.
That song.
Okay.
Yeah, love that
Forever.
song. So
listening
good.
to
I actually
Lord
have
Ribs.
like painted for so long with that, just on repeat.
Yeah.
like, looped,
Getting into flow.
for sure. In that
Um,
angsty teen.
So, what is your most kind of treasured work that you've created?
Probably actually, I have my mom. The one that I gave my mom a
Mm.
couple years ago. It was dedicated to my nanny who passed away
Oh,
a couple years ago.
yeah.
But it's a really sweet story though, because we went into her room while they were clearing out all her stuff, and everybody used to come and visit her every day with an ice cream from the local shop that came in like a plastic tub, like a rainbow tub.
Yeah.
And we found this box in her room, and she had collected every tub and spoon from the ice creams she ate for like literally years. So it was just this giant box filled with rainbow like plastic spoons and tubs. So I did this really big, like blown up painting of like I took a lot of photos and collaged them together from inside the box,
Yeah.
and so it's like this big painting of all these spoons like floating in this orb, and it's
Very
really
cool.
bright,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's just it always used to make me laugh. But my mom really treasures it. I think
That's nice.
Very cool.
Yeah,
this one,
that's really nice.
one of my favorites.
If you could spend a day with an Irish artist, living or dead, who'd you pick?
You know who I think is so cool, and I actually seen him today, and I didn't say anything to him because I was nervous. Salvatore Flukin. He's
Yeah.
like the sickest.
Charles
He's
Cool
great.
guy.
He's so cool. I'm so intimidated by him. And he actually just walked into that
He'll
thing I
definitely
was
listen to
at.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're listening,
Sal, you're
I
so
was
cool.
scared.
But yeah, he's right. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna. But
yeah.
I will. I'll meet him sometime. It'll be like,
One
hey, let's
day.
get a
Yeah,
coffee.
do, he's good.
So, is there an artist that has most impacted your work, or inspired you?
You know who I love, and I was taught about in college, Jenny Savile. You know Jenny Savile? And we were shown her portraits of the. What was the story? Like she went into she would ask to be there during surgeries.
Yeah.
With doctors when people were being like cut open and all this stuff, and like seeing her kind of showing
Yeah.
her version of people as like meat.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
the like
The flesh. And,
the flesh and like the like ugly side of the human body. but making it so beautiful. Like when I dove into her work, I think that changed a lot of how I was thinking about like
Yeah, yeah,
portraiture
I
and
get you.
painting people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I love her work.
Very cool.
So obviously you're involved in events and stuff like that as well, and obviously the art scene in Dublin. What do you think Dublin/Ireland needs as a cultural sphere to kind of thrive and be pushed on? What do you think it needs?
I think it needs more spots for artists to have fun and just people to have fun.
Yeah.
Like even like Give Us the Night is so amazing. Like trying to get more like nighttime venues in Dublin. Like that's where the life is, and like there's no like I can't sit down and do loads of work unless I've like had some bit of enjoyment to my day or the night before, like something to get you to like keep working. But there's just not that energy, I feel like, in Dublin right now, which we need. We need more nighttime spaces. We need more like artistic centers, more places opening with studios, more stuff like that.
Are you good?
That's such a vague answer. I hate that answer, but
So yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's the point. Kind of everyone's echoed so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
that's been the thread throughout.
Brilliant.
It's been
I back them.
we need
Back
more
that.
kind of middle spaces where you can experiment and have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Because bit of a gap between getting into a huge institution and displaying your work there, but also you want to be able to just explore with the medium of an exhibition.
And meet
displaying your
other
work.
people, like
Yeah.
meet other young artists and people
And
like
that was something I really admired with all of your and Ben's work from Thrust, like the way you pulled that together. All of the various different kind of mediums, like people were working in such diverse mediums, like to be able to pull that all together under one roof. It's really impressive.
Thank you,
So,
that's so sweet.
Yeah,
That's literally all we love to do. Like that's that's why we do it.
Yeah.
And then we get to top it off with a great party at
Exactly.
the very end of all the hard work.
After all the hard work, you get your fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look, thanks a million for coming in.
Thanks so
It's great having you.
much.
Yeah. Pleasure.
And
It's
obviously,
been a pleasure on
thanks-
my part.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for listening. In terms of the podcast today, we'd like to thank Darren and Total Vision Studios for his producership. And if you want to get in touch with Herman's, best way of doing that is through Herman's Auctioneers on Instagram or else on Twitter, and also at herman.ie as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us.
Where can we get you, Jordan?
You can find me at Jordan P. Cassidy on Instagram, and I will soon have a website that you
Pending.
can go
Cool.
to pending.
Pending.
Go
I
onto
love
my
that.
Instagram and you'll find that.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
And
Class.
don't
Showing
find
up.
my Twitter. Don't even think about
Don't
looking
even look
for
for
it.
that.
I'm just kidding.
You
Thanks so
don't
much,
see it.
guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks a million.